with 32 teams currently eliminated from the Global Trophy, we are down now to 128. The qualifiers begins now with the Global Trophy 2023 European qualifiers. I'm joined alongside
Sam Elliott, 64. Yes, all the preliminary leagues have been and gone. Now it's time for what we love the most, the knockout stages, the qualifiers for each segment of the world. And we start off, of course, with Europe. And if we remember back, what a finale that was to the European preliminaries. You know, the amazing final fixture where Estonia, representing Montenegro, kind of threw it all away and ended up finishing 9th.
Yep, allowing for North Macedonia to qualify as the dud yet again. But yeah, pretty much. So from these 32 teams, it's straight knockout until we only have one. But those top 8 do qualify for the Global Trophy finals.
Absolutely, we've got enough teams in here to, you know, so many former champions as well from Europe to kind of go through. So yeah, lots of big names to watch out for.
Yep, definitely. So let's begin, shall we? Let's kick off with our dud team, North Macedonia.
Had a decent enough run in the preliminary qualifiers, but again, just falling short, just like they did in 2022, not being able to qualify for the finals and compete.
Yep, next up, a team that is able to compete, it's Finland.
Yeah, Finland, you know, they kind of had that kind of slow burner, didn't they? They kind of came back strongly towards the end and just snuck in by, I think it was 1 point in the end, or 2 points. So yeah, fair play to Finland for qualifying and actually being able to compete.
Yep, they missed out last time round. Another team that also missed out last time round, but are here this time, is Iceland.
The Icelandic team, formerly, you know, I think they've been a quarter-finalist in the Global Trophy proper, haven't they? I think they did really well the one year. I can't remember, so
they
watch out for Iceland.
Yeah, I think they might have been like a round of 16, a dropout, I think, on that one.
Okay. They definitely qualified for the finals proper, though. I remember that much.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think they beat England to get there, I think, once.
Of course.
Yeah. Next up, a team with pedigree in this qualifier. It's former European champions, Romania.
Yep, the 2021 European champions, Romania, of course, beat Spain along the way to win that competition. Of course, Spain have never won the European section. So the fact that Romania have won one is pretty impressive. I'm surprised they finished as low as they did in the preliminaries.
Yep, but this is a straight knockout. This is really in Romania's wheelhouse now, so they're in an area where they could produce some shockers and get some wins here, and maybe even qualify. Who knows?
Who knows?
Next up, Slovakia.
Yep, that great run that they had to go from essentially last place all the way up to 4th in the end. Brilliant performance from them, and maybe this year they'll qualify. Of course, they lost out to eventual qualifiers Slovenia in the European qualifiers last year, so who knows? Maybe this year will be their year.
Yep, next up, it's former quarterfinalists of the Global Trophy and Global Trophy Champions quarterfinalists last year in 2022. It's Greece.
They are experts at knockout competitions, aren't they? I think they finished as semi-finalist before. I think it was was it the year that Romania won? They were semi-finalist in Europe as well.
Yes, I do. I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, they've got pedigree as well, the Greeks. So watch out for them. They're always a dark horse. You can never discount them. The fact that they have to pre-qualify every season is more an indication of the current state of their national team as opposed to them in this game.
Yep. You've also got to remember, really, that 2 years after this game came out, Greece became European champions in real life.
That was a time, wasn't it?
Yeah. Next up, the bottle jobs of the preliminaries, but they're here. They usually do make it here. It's Turkey.
Yeah, the Turkish team was always fairly solid in this competition. Didn't quite manage to win their preliminary league this time around, but I'm sure they won't be too upset by that.
Yep, they're still here in the knockout stages now. Republic of Ireland, next up, the winners of the preliminary league.
Absolutely. And I just want to say, on FIFA rankings, by the way, only 2 teams from this 8 here aren't actually in the top 8. Can you guess who they are, the 2 teams that are missing?
In the FIFA rankings?
Yes.
Norway?
No. So the 2 teams that are missing in terms of the from the 16 that we had.
Oh right, yeah. I'm guessing Montenegro is one of them.
No, it's not. So the 2
Bosnia?
that are missing. Yeah, Bosnia's one.
Albania.
No, it's Northern Ireland.
All right.
So Northern Ireland and Bosnia and Herzegovina were replaced by ranks 9 and 10 out of those, which were Iceland and North Macedonia. So fairly decent effort from the game to get the right teams through.
Yeah, really. I mean, well, I think they got the top 5 all correct, only in different positions, didn't they?
They only got Turkey and Ireland the wrong way round, and Romania and Slovakia the wrong way round.
Yeah, so the top 5, they were all actually in the top 5, but just in different positions. Next up, barely scraping through without having to pre-qualify, it's Scotland.
Yeah, they almost qualified for the World Cup, didn't they? They were a couple of qualifying games away. Obviously, they lost to Ukraine eventually. But, yeah, there you go.
And obviously, Scotland's biggest win in the Global Trophy, knocking out beating at the time reigning champions Portugal in the European qualifiers in the round of 8.
Yeah, of course, they're former semi-finalists in the European section, Scotland. So not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination.
Yep. Next up, it is Russia.
I think we can move swiftly on from Russia, can't we?
Certainly will. Next up, Hungary.
Former semi-finalists outright in the Global Trophy finals. What a great team they've been in recent years as well. And of course, their FIFA ranking's gone right up with players like Dominik Szoboszlai, and is it Galashi, the goalkeeper as well? So they've got a fairly decent national team these days, Hungary.
Yep, looking to maybe try and get back to the run of form that the Hungarians had in the 70s.
Yeah, in the 60s. I think they were one of the best. I think they were former World Cup finalists, weren't they? Hungary?
Yeah, they are. They're former World Cup runners-up, yeah.
Brilliant team.
Next up, not an incredibly spectacular team, but a team that always make it to the Global Trophy European qualifiers at least. It's Austria.
They normally do quite well as well. They do qualify fairly regular, Austria. Not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. Certainly not a team you want to discount early on.
Yep, definitely. Next up, it is Yugoslavia. Obviously being represented in this one is Serbia, of course.
Yep, known as Serbia these days. Serbia, of course, one of the big Balkan nations. Phenomenal football team. Obviously didn't do that well in the World Cup in 2022, did they? They ended up going out in the group stage.
Yep, I predicted them to go through actually in the group stage.
I thought they'd beat Switzerland, but Switzerland have just got a way of getting under their skin, haven't they?
Yep, they certainly do, and obviously with players like Mitrovic, who's doing really well in the moment in the Premier League for Fulham.
I know, finally. It's about time he started doing what he should have been. The fact that he's scoring 40 goals in the Championship is kind of ridiculous. And then he just turns into the Premier League and does nothing,
Yeah, exactly. Next up, this just proves how low this team slipped. It's Wales next.
Former European Championship semi-finalists, of course, back in 2016. Obviously, a lot of their star players, Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey, sort of on the decline these days. Not so much the darlings of Welsh football as they once were, but
yep,
yeah, didn't do very well in the World Cup either, did they?
No. I mean, their golden years very much behind them. They're going to sort of have to try and rebuild for the rest of the tournaments for Wales. Really, they've slipped down the rankings considerably over the last couple of years.
It wouldn't be surprising if in a couple of years' time we might have to see Wales qualifying in the preliminaries. You never know. You never know.
Next up, it is Sweden.
Sweden are a decent enough team in real life. I'm surprised they didn't actually qualify for the World Cup itself. But they're always a dark horse to keep an eye out for in this competition, in the Global Trophy. So watch out for Sweden.
Yep, last time round they lost on penalties to England in round 1, did Sweden. Shock horror.
That's how you know it's bad when you're losing to England on penalties.
Yep, definitely. Next up, I'd say a good performance in the World Cup recently, Poland.
Yep, qualified for the round of 16, obviously losing to eventual runners-up France. Of course, probably, again, players like Lewandowski, maybe their best years are behind them. He's 35 these days, so, I don't think he's got another World Cup in him, but you never know.
You never know. Next up, following from a team who did pretty decently in the World Cup to one that did terribly, Denmark.
They should have got out of that group, shouldn't they? There's no reason why shouldn't have got out of that group with Australia and Tunisia. They lost to both of them, didn't they?
Yeah.
No, they drew with Tunisia. Tunisia beat France, didn't they? That was it.
Yeah, I mean, but from that, I had Denmark to win that group.
Really?
Yeah.
No, France were always going to win that group. Come on now.
No, a lot of people actually thought that Denmark was going to win that group just simply because of how good Denmark was in the Euros and also in the Nations League. They beat France multiple times in the Nations League, or stayed undefeated against France. They actually finished above them in their group. So, there was certainly, alongside the injuries to France's national team, there were certainly big moments as to why Denmark should have won that group, but they ended up not even not winning that group, but also getting knocked out.
Finishing bottom of that group, I think.
Yeah, and speaking of Switzerland are next.
Yeah, Switzerland. They always just seem to end up in the round of 16, don't they? They always just seem to end up there. They got battered by Portugal in the round of 16, but they always just seem to end up there somehow.
Yep, and next up, we get to show off, finally, a stat sting! The new things we're bringing in, because next up it's Spain.
Former global trophy champions on 3 occasions, the Spanish. Never won Europe, though. Never won in Europe. And also, runners-up of the 2022 Global Trophy Champion of Champions, despite doing barely anything for the last 4 years.
Yep, they won the Global Trophy in 2006, 2011, and 2016. They finished runner-up of the Global Trophy in 2014 as well.
Really? Oh, you've gone back and done some research.
Indeed! I had to for these stat stings, didn't I?
Bloody hell, look at this. Actual content.
Quality! Speaking of quality, a team that's just been quite good quality over the last sort of 4 years, it's Portugal next.
Yep, 2-time back-to-back champions in 2018 and 2019. A phenomenal performance from them in recent years. Of course, a finalist as well in 2021. They've had a really rich vein of form, Portugal, and one of the best teams in Europe.
Yeah, you've got to think that in the space of 4 years, Portugal were in the top 2 of the Global Trophy 3 of those times.
Yeah, unbelievable performances from Portugal in recent years. So watch out for them as well. Can never discount the Portuguese.
Yep, next up, it is, well, a team that's finished in the top 4 in the last 2 World Cups. It's Croatia.
The most underrated football teams in the world, Croatia. Yeah. And the fact is, their population is smaller than Scotland's. It's unbelievable how they're able to produce such incredible footballers on such a regular occasion.
Yep, and certainly a big battle team here, Croatia. Really rising up the ranks into the top 10 now in the FIFA rankings.
Phenomenal team, aren't they? They're really, really good.
Next up, it's the Netherlands.
Quarter-finalists in the World Cup with a young team this time around. Of course, back-to-back champions as well in the Global Trophy in 2020 and 2021, the 2 COVID years. You have to say, one of the favourites to win it again, surely. Obviously, had a pretty poor run last year, knocked out in the preliminary, the European qualifiers. But yeah, one of the favourites, surely. One of the best teams in all of the Global Trophy history. Yep,
2-time European champions as well in 2011 and 2020. So in 2020, they went unbeaten. Very few teams have done that in the Global Trophy in an entire campaign.
Not many at all. I think 2 or 3 maybe have done it. I think France did it on a couple of occasions, maybe Argentina as well. But yeah, the Dutch as well, one of those teams who have done that amazing feat of going undefeated.
Next up, it's England, everyone!
England, of course, synonymous with the Global Trophy with going out in the round of 16 of the European qualifiers. However, they always tend to get beaten by an eventual champion. Like, in the last few years, I think were they beaten by Czech Republic last year? I want to say they were.
Yeah, so pretty much 2022 lost to Czech Republic on penalties in round 2. 2021 lost the Netherlands in round 2. Lost to Portugal in 2020 and 2019. Lost to the Netherlands in 2018, lost to Spain in 2017, lost to Iceland in 2016, lost to Scotland in 2015, lost to Russia in 2014, lost to Italy on penalties in 2013, lost to Denmark in 2012, lost to Scotland in 2011, lost to Norway in 2010, lost to Greece in 2009, lost to Italy in the Global Trophy quarterfinals in 2008. That is their best performance so far, and it's been 14 years since England has been in the Global Trophy finals.
Yeah, so they always lose to a good team. It's not as if they're losing to, like, scrubs every time. Okay, maybe Scotland, but, like, oh, sorry, that was harsh. But you know what I mean? Like, they always lose to a good team, right?
Well, let's put it this way. Every single team that England's lost to in the Global Trophy is in this.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy. They always end up with a really rubbish draw. So maybe this year England will do it, right?
We keep hoping, don't we? Next up, it is the record-breaking 4-time Global Trophy champions. It's France.
And of course, World Cup runners-up in 2022, World Cup winners in 2018. By the way, Kylian Mbappe is pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
pretty
all right.
good. He scored 4 times in a World Cup final. Okay, one was in the penalty shootout, but he scored 4 times.
Yeah, he's all right. He's a decent young lad, you know.
The guy's 23 and he's a joke. He's unbelievable.
Yeah. But yeah, in the Global Trophy itself, France, 11 championships to their name. As mentioned, 4-time Global Trophy champions in 2005, 2007, 2009, and most recently, 2017, the first Global Trophy to be on YouTube. They are 7-time European champions. They actually went 3 years in a row as European champions in 2005, 2006, 2007. Following that up with 2009, 2016, 2017, and 2019. This team's also a 2-time Global Trophy runner-up in 2010 and 2020.
They didn't win 2017 in Europe.
Are they not?
It was Czech Republic.
Oh, yeah. Crap. Yeah, I've messed that up. Ow.
Close enough, but you get the idea. Like, they are just such an unbelievable force in the Global Trophy. Like they've been losing finalists on multiple occasions as well. They are unbelievably good, France. Unbelievably good.
Yep. And next up, still, I never count this team out. It's Bulgaria next. We're getting into the 8 teams that finished in the top 8 in the last qualifiers for Europe last year.
One of the best teams in Europe, Bulgaria. I think they've had decent runs in the Global Trophy finals themselves. I think finalist, I think, previously.
I'm pretty certain they have finished in the top 2 before, yeah.
So, yeah, no slouches at all. And speaking of teams that have finished in the top 2, next up is Italy. The 3-time losing runners-up of the Global Trophy itself. Winners of Europe on 5 occasions as well. Always the bridesmaids and never the brides, but one of the best teams out there.
Yeah, 2007, 2012, and 2018 were the times that Italy finished runner-up in the Global Trophy. Tied with Argentina for the most amount of times finishing runner-up in a Global Trophy. 5 championships to their name, and currently ranked number 4 in the Global Trophy.
One of the very best teams, aren't they, Italy? Unbelievable team.
Yep, obviously making it to the quarterfinals last time round. Next up, it is Slovenia.
Also beating their, I suppose, rivals, Slovakia, to get to the Global Trophy finals last time around. Did okay. The fact that they made it to the top 8 of Europe is very impressive, but there you go. Watch out for Slovenia.
Yep. Next up, last time we did the Global Trophy proper, this team was the world number 1. Now world number 4, it's Belgium.
I don't understand how Belgium have managed to fraud their way that high in the rankings. They've never done anything.
Yeah.
They call themselves the golden generation, or they're touted as this golden generation, and they've literally done nothing.
Yeah, they certainly had the players to be called a golden generation for definite, but they haven't really done anything with it.
I mean, the fact of the matter is as well, like they had a manager in Roberto Martinez who got relegated with Wigan, and nearly took Everton down as well, and he's just not a good enough coach. And I think there's a few fractious issues with the players, like with De Bruyne and Courtois. There's a whole thing about those two having personal issues. So yeah, Belgium have. I feel really bad because those players were sensational, but they've kind of missed the boat, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Bit late for them now, I think, when it comes to that.
Yeah, 100%.
Next up, the semi-finalists now from the 2022 qualifiers. Ukraine is next.
Ukraine. Obviously, difficult situation for them in the world at the moment with the whole invasion from Russia, but they did so well last year, and hopefully they do well again this year.
Yep, they actually beat Russia to make it to the Global Trophy finals last time round, so there you go.
There you go, quite ironic for them.
Yep, next up, the Giant Killers themselves. Norway's next.
Former European champions back in 2013. Decent side as well, Norway. Not to be underestimated under any circumstances. Keep an eye on Norway. I think last year they defeat Portugal and the Netherlands back to back.
Yes, and
unbelievable.
Italy.
Unbelievable run from Norway in the European qualifiers.
Portugal, Netherlands, and Italy to lose out to Germany in the semi-finals last time. It's a brilliant run from Norway.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And now. the Global Trophy champions, runners-up of Europe as well, the Czech Republic.
Yeah, Czech Republic or Czechia, the Global Trophy champions for the first and only time in 2022, beating Brazil in the final. What a run it was. We couldn't believe it, and I don't think we can still believe it now, the fact that they are one of only, what, 8 teams that have won the Global Trophy, and Czech Republic is one of them. It's just unbelievable. What a story.
Yep, very recently they performed quite decently, I'd say, in the Global Trophy Champion of Champions. They qualified through their group quite well, 1 point behind France, to lose out to Spain in the round of 16. So certainly no slouch on that one. They're also former European champions in their own right in 2017, beating France.
That was it. So yeah, France were in the final, weren't they? That was it. So Czech Republic, it's hard to say how they're going to do, because they could end up with like a horrible draw to start off with and could go out in the first couple of rounds, but they cannot be underestimated at all.
Yep, they certainly wouldn't be the first defending champions to be knocked out in round 1, of course. That has happened on a few occasions. But last, but certainly not least, the 2022 European champions and the 2013 Global Trophy champions, it's Germany.
Yep, the 10th anniversary of their success this year. Germany, former Global Trophy champions on one occasion, former European champions on one occasion. To be honest with you, they've never really been that big of a team, though, in the Global Trophy, have they, Germany? They've never really been, like, a powerhouse, and it was very fortunate that they ended up winning in 2013, if I remember correctly. It was a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I mean, they're currently ranked 11 in the Global Trophy rankings. But yeah, only 2 titles to their name. They usually do quite well, but not spectacularly to what we know from Germany as a team.
Absolutely. Right. Chris, save state.
I will.
Good lad.
What's my button for save state? Oh, I found it.
Good.
It's F2 to save.
Yep.
Yep. And F1 to load. Lovely. Right. Okay, so our dud team is North Macedonia.
Let's do it. The European qualifiers are go.
If it works. It did first time round!
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Do you see it as well?
For God's sake!
England take on the former European champions Romania. Switzerland have France.
Norway take on Bulgaria. Germany, the European champions, take on the preliminary champions for this year, Republic of Ireland.
Yep. Denmark get a bye to take on either Austria or Hungary. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, big match there. Greece take on Croatia, the two kind of Global Trophy Champion of Champions surprise packages over the last 2 occasions that tournament's been held. And then Turkey take on Scotland.
Going to be very interesting between that. But first off, England's heading up the bill against the former European champions Romania.
I don't know who the favourite is.
And there you go.
No! Every time! Every time!
Now watch as Switzerland beat France, right?
The preliminary team go through in Romania, by the way, the preliminary qualifier. That's England's level here, by the way.
Yep, that is England's level. France through, though. They beat Switzerland.
Yep, they progress to a round of 16 clash with Romania. Next up is Norway taking on Bulgaria.
Yep, 2 big shockers. Both teams made it to the Global Trophy Finals last time round. It's Bulgaria! They've knocked Norway out!
Penalties through to the round of 16 to take on either the European champions Germany or Republic of Ireland, one of the home nation's biggest hopes left.
It's 3-0 Germany. Germany's through to take on Bulgaria in the round of 16.
Not an easy match for Germany, but I think a happy result for them nonetheless.
Yep, Denmark going to be able to go through with the bye, beating Macedonia into round 2. Do you know what? I'm actually looking at it. Scotland might have a shot to qualify here if you look at it.
They really might. They've not got a bad draw. At least they'd have to play Romania in round 1. Like the footballing powerhouse that is Romania.
Hey, former European champions did damn well in the Champion of Champions. No surprise that England, a team that is now 15 years without a Global Trophy final, get knocked out again. What a surprise at this point.
What a shocker. Honestly, I for one am stunned.
Yeah. To be honest, if they beat Romania, would they have beaten France?
No.
No.
Obviously not. If Romania beat France, though, then we can say. We can say what if.
Yeah, what if? Well, there. Austria, Hungary next up.
Two teams that, have had capabilities for shocks in the past.
Yep, winner takes on Denmark in the next round. It's Austria going through to the round of 16.
Hungary going home at this early stage. Next up, Greece, the preliminary qualifiers, taking on Croatia, of course, former favourites from the Global Trophy Champion of Champions. Well, both of these two teams are, actually.
Yep, two of the biggest shockers in Global Trophy Champions of the past here. Win for Greece, 2-1.
Croatia, they go home. Next up is Turkey, the runners-up of the preliminary league, taking on Scotland, of course, who are the team just outside the preliminaries who qualified via FIFA ranking.
Yep, can Scotland make the most of that here? 4-1 Scotland! They take on Greece in round 2!
Massive result for the Scots as they go through to the round of 16. Next up is Belgium versus Italy, two teams that qualified from Europe last time. One of them won't this time.
Yep, certainly won't be. Italy's through, but they take on either Sweden or Spain!
That is a tough fixture. Spain, of course, finalists in the Global Trophy Champion of Champions, taking on Sweden, of course, who didn't qualify last year. We're hoping to think they can turn that around this time around.
Yep, beaten on penalties by England. They beat Spain, though! Spain's gone!
The Champion of Champions finalists eliminated already! Unbelievable. Spain, the former three-time champions, are out!
Yep, Italy will take on Sweden here. Poland get Russia.
The Polish hate the Russians. They absolutely hate them. They'll love this match.
It's 3-0 Russia. They're through to take on either Wales or the Netherlands.
Big crunch match for Wales. A tough match to have, but the Netherlands definitely the favourites.
Definitely on this one. 2-0 Wales out. Slovakia take on Portugal. This bottom bracket is looking quite tasty, isn't it?
Absolutely lethal here. Portugal take on Slovakia. Slovakia, of course, the preliminary qualifiers. Portugal, the former two-time champions, sorry.
Portugal through. Czech Republic get Finland.
Replace against Portugal in the next round. This is a horrible draw for the champions. How will they fare against Finland first and foremost?
Yep, the reigning champions. 5-1 Czech Republic. They're through.
What a start from the Czechs. Slovenia versus Ukraine, the penultimate match of the round of 32.
Yeah, both teams. Ukraine made it through last time round, made it to the semi-finals. Slovenia, quarterfinals, so both teams made it through. It's Ukraine this time round.
Big result for the Ukraine, and Yugoslavia, representing Serbia, take on Iceland for a place in the round of 16.
Yep, Serbia, who made it through on their rankings. Iceland finished in 6th in the preliminary league. And Serbia knock Iceland out.
The end of Iceland's run.
To kick off the round of 16.
There's a lot of big names here, and some playing each other. We start off with the former European champions and preliminary qualifiers Romania against the 4-time Global Trophy champions France.
Tall order here for Romania, but they could certainly do it here. They've done it! France out!
Penalties! France eliminated! Unbelievable! And England justifiably delighted, surely, because Romania, the team that beat them, also beat France.
Big moment, Romania back in the Global Trophy Finals, maybe looking for a second European Championship. They may have to take on the current European champions to do so.
Bulgaria are not an easy challenge, though. They beat their way through to the European qualifiers last time around. They made it to the finals. Can they beat Germany?
No, they can't. Germany through. The first big nation through, and it's Germany qualifying over Bulgaria on a penalty decision.
Unbelievable from Germany. They'll be delighted with that against Romania. Next up is Denmark and Austria. Two dark horse teams here. Who will be the team that comes out on top?
Certainly could be either on this one. Denmark's through 2-0. Denmark again into the Global Trophy Finals at the expense of Austria.
A solid team, Denmark, aren't they? You can never discount them, and through to the Global Trophy Finals they go.
Greece versus Scotland. Winner goes through to the Global Trophy Finals.
Greece, of course, preliminary qualifiers. They finished 3rd in that league. Scotland didn't have to qualify on account of their FIFA ranking, but they made their way through to this stage by beating Turkey, who were in the preliminary league.
Scotland's through! They are in the finals!
They've won on penalties! The Scots are through!
Scotland again for the second time, I think in 3 or 4 years, into the Global Trophy Finals.
Fantastic from Scotland. They go through. Next up is Italy and Sweden for a place in the Global Trophy and a place in the European Qualifier quarterfinals.
Yep, both teams, well, Sweden knocked out in round 1 last time round. Italy made it to the quarterfinals last time round. They've done it again! 3-0 Italy, again through to another Global Trophy finals.
And comfortably so. 3-0 winners for Italy there. So far, so good for the Italians.
Russia take on the Netherlands now. Both teams failed to make it last time round.
Yes, the Netherlands, 2-time former champions of the Global Trophy. Surely they're the favourites going into this match.
Russia's through! Netherlands gone as well!
They've been defeated again, the Netherlands, for 2 years in a row. They've not made it through to the Global Trophy finals.
Will Portugal follow? They've got the Global Trophy champions, the Czech Republic.
One champion is going home here.
One certainly is. Portugal's through! The champs are gone!
Out go the Czech Republic. Their reign was incredibly short-lived, but Portugal are back.
Portugal back into the Global Trophy finals, and all we got left is Serbia or Ukraine. Ukraine semi-finalists last time round. Serbia didn't make it last time round to the European Qualifier quarterfinals, so big match for both teams here.
I think it's been a while since Serbia have made it through, so this is a big moment for them. Ukraine, of course, with all the problems going on, would dearly love to make it through for a second year in a row.
It is Ukraine again through to the quarterfinals.
Amazing performance from Ukraine as they progress to the quarterfinals of Europe and indeed the Global Trophy finals. But what a top 8 we've got here.
We've seen Netherlands, France, and Spain all go.
And the Czech Republic, of course.
And the Czech Republic, of course.
And the Dutch.
Yep.
Unbelievable. We've got a very... Again, it's a solid top 8, but it's not littered with superstars, is it?
No. Romania will take on Germany in their current giant killing role so far.
Of course, these are the two current, most recent European champions. Who goes through to the semi-finals here?
Yep, for a chance to win another one. It's Romania again!
Unbelievable! Romania beating England, France, and Germany so far. What a run for Romania!
What a run it's been for Romania. They take on either Denmark or Scotland.
Surely Denmark to win here. They've got to be the favourites.
You'd certainly think so on that one. Denmark through 2-1. Scotland's out, but they will make it to the Global Trophy finals regardless.
They will indeed. A Romania-Denmark semi-final still to come. We've got Italy versus Russia next up.
Yep.
Italy probably the favourites.
Yep, Russia who beats the Netherlands to get here, but Italy do beat Russia. They're in the semi-finals.
Are they after another trophy, Italy? They've won European Championships 5 times in the past. Can they make it 6?
Portugal versus Ukraine. Certainly Italy are the favourites, I think, in this one. But you never know. If Portugal beat Ukraine, that sets up a very nice semi-final.
Yeah, Portugal definitely the favourites after knocking out the current Global Trophy champions, Czech Republic.
Portugal through 1-0. It's Italy, Portugal, Romania, Denmark, though, it's first.
Romania probably the favourites in this one, having been on the run that they've been on, but they are, as we have to remember, preliminary qualifiers here, Romania.
Yep, and finished 5th in that, but Denmark's in the final!
What a run for Denmark. They are in the European section final to take on either Italy or Portugal. Of course, this is the final when Portugal won their first global trophy.
Yep, a rematch from those times. Italy win it this time, though!
And they are in the final to play Denmark, so it'll be Denmark or Italy who will win the European section for 2023. Who's it going to be?
It's Italy! It's their 6th European Championship!
And what a run, and what a warm-up for Italy, because of course they've never won the global trophy, famously never won it. But for the first time since we've been doing this on YouTube, we've had a repeat European champion, and it's Italy that have done it.
Yep, 6 times now they've won the European Championship. Denmark, a great run for them, and that's certainly going to help their points total when it comes to the Champion of Champions in 4 years' time. So that's certainly going to help their performance on that one. Italy, though, great to get past Portugal and to barely scrape past Denmark to win their 6th championship, their 6th European Championship here in the Global Trophy.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff. And it was easy, wasn't it, for Italy, really? They just kind of cruised their way through. Never really in doubt.
Yeah, apart from potentially the Portugal game. But yeah, Italy were able to make it through. in what could have been a very difficult set of groups, but teams like Ukraine and Russia doing really well in their battles, and of course, Scotland's in the final again.
They are.
That's what the fans like to see. They want to see Scotland in the final and England not. That's what they like to see. Looking at you, Ross.
Every time.
He's looking at you, Ross.
Yeah, literally.
So, the 8 teams qualifying from Europe for the Global Trophy Finals are Romania, Germany, Denmark, Scotland, Italy, Russia, Portugal, and Ukraine. It's not a weak top 8, but it's not an incredibly strong one either.
2 former Global Trophy champions made it through out of the potential 6 that we could have had from Europe. So, I don't know what that says, really. Is
this potentially the time for a non-European team? The thing that everyone wants, and it's like, we can't bloody, it's not our fault that a European team keeps winning it. Look at the World Cup, for God's sakes. How many non-European teams have won it? Oh yeah, 2. No, 3, sorry. 3.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I was like, come on. It's not our fault, damn it. It's this game. But yeah, England out again. That's a shock. Not to stop.
At least it wasn't on penalties.
At least it wasn't on penalties. But yeah, knocked out to Romania. Scotland making it through. Very dominant performance from Scotland there. And they're in the finals now. Denmark's in the finals again. Russia's in the finals. And Russia and Ukraine are in the finals. I've just noticed that.
Yeah, they could have played each other. It would have been close.
Oh, God.
It was close.
Yeah, but yeah, the 8 teams making it through to the Global Trophy Finals from Europe. It is Romania, Germany, Denmark, Scotland, Italy, Russia, Portugal, and Ukraine. So, yeah, if you look at it from this point of view, only 3 of the 8 from last year are in this one.
It shows how competitive Europe is compared to a lot of the other, areas, right?
Yeah, which are Germany, Ukraine, and Italy are the only 3 there.
Yeah, amazing stuff.
But yeah, there we go, folks. Italy pick up their 6th European Championship. Next episode will be the Asian qualifiers. And will Australia get yet another Continental Championship to their name? We'll find out next week. I'm Masterath.
I've been Sven-Göran.
And we'll see you next week for the Asian qualifiers. Can Australia keep their run going as the team with the most amount of championships in the Global Trophy? We'll find out next week. We'll see you then.